remain calm but extremely
and
vigilant.
We want to thank every single Ghanaian,
believe
every
us,
single citizen
this
of this
election is going to go to a very sensible conclusion. Nothing else. Trust the NPP on that. A very sensible one as that. As usual, the NDC is doing what they know how to do best, behaving in the most irresponsible and disgraceful manner that you can expect from a political party. They are calling on their supporters at this hour. Elections are over. Your supporters were supposed to mobilize the people and get them to their votes, their polling stations, and cast their votes. That is what political parties do. Simple process. Campaign, encourage your supporters to canvass for you, get the voters to go to the polling station, cast their votes for you. Everybody in the full glare of the public, the counting is done at the polling station. You have agents. All the other political parties have agents. You finish, you sign at the polling station that you accept the results at your polling station. When that is done, simple process. Move your pink sheet from the polling station and take it to the constituency coalition center, where you have your agents there with the electoral commission. And what is going to happen there is simple. The sheets, the pink sheet that your agent signed at the polling station is being brought to the constituency coalition center. And that is where those figures are going to be put together and summed up. When that is done, the constituency would now pick the constituency sheets from the constituency coalition center and take it to the regional coalition center. At the regional coalition center, let's use the Eastern region as an example. 33 constituencies. All they are going to do at the regional coalition center is to pick the 33 constituency coalition sheets, which you have a copy, and sum it, and then move it from there and bring it to the center, which is the electoral commission here in Accra, and they put together 16 coalition results, and we have our elections called. And so it's baffling, extremely baffling, to have the NDC behave the manner in which they are behaving. They continue to also peddle some falsehood. Somewhere around 4:30 p.m. thereabouts, the NDC held a press conference, and they are saying that the NDC organizer in the Ashanti region has discovered 500,000 ballot papers, which they claim are ballot papers that they have discovered being hidden by the NPP. Ladies and gentlemen, that's a complete falsehood. It's a complete lie. It's a falsehood. All we saw in that video is Joseph Yamin, the organizer of the NDC in the Ashanti region, holding his own phone, having a camera placed on him by his own people in a certain room with no resistance. No owner of the room, no owner of the house, not a single person they met in the room accustomed, standing and having a conversation, cheerfully telling somebody that I've discovered ballot papers. Our checks indicate that, first of all, the room they claim they discovered those ballot papers are not even at the location they indicated. Number two, these are actually ballot papers that Yamin himself took to the Ashanti region for whatever reason. Remember, they had already given some of these ballot papers to the youth organizer of the Atwima Kwama constituency. The police had already issued a statement on that. We showed a video earlier on, and maybe before I conclude, I'll show that video, where the son of the constituency youth organizer of the Atwima Kwama constituency was arrested by the Ghana police. For attempting to stuff a ballot box with 79 ballot papers. These ballot papers were part of the ballot papers that you saw Joseph Yamin standing by. What had actually happened was that Joseph Yamin realized that he had 30 minutes for elections to end, and he had not been successful to execute that task that had been given to him by his party. And so to save his face, he all of a sudden goes on video using a selfie and telling the whole country that he's found some ballot papers that belongs to the NPP. That's an outright lie. It's a complete falsehood, and it's something that everybody should disregard. We are calling on the Ghana Police Service to investigate to the latter. that video that Joseph Yamin has put out, because they are an absolute threat to the stability of this country. They do not show us the number of the alleged ballot papers. We never see it. We only see some brown boxes or brown papers, in a corner. They do not tell us the exact quantity that they have, because you have the deputy spokesperson of the flag bearer of the opposition party indicating on her Facebook post that they have discovered some 300,000 ballot papers. Then Joseph Yamin says 500,000. Then another NDC person says 400,000. So it tells you the kind of people they are and what it is that they are doing. Again, we do not see any MPP official in the video. So think about this. Joseph Yamin, for some reason, has magic. Identifies a building that has ballot papers, goes into that house, and there is nobody in the house. Joseph Yamin walks into that house seamlessly. The Joseph Yamin we know has a suspicion that there is a ballot paper hidden in the house, would start recording himself from the road before even getting to the gates, before walking into the room. Strangely, Joseph Yamin switches off his phone or his video, breaks into whichever house, opens whichever door, gets into a room, and then only begins to record himself inside a room. These guys really take the entire country completely as fools, because it doesn't just add up. The same Joseph Yamin gets into the room before inviting media. This Joseph Yamin we know, having picked intelligence that there is some ballot papers hidden somewhere by the MPP, will call the media, call police, and walk in there with them before he even puts a video on himself. He doesn't do any of these things. Again, we only see him in a corner with a video on himself. Now, you've discovered some 500,000 ballot papers in an MPP stronghold. And then the only evidence you show us is a selfie of yourself in a room, having a conversation with somebody excitedly, telling the person that you've discovered some ballot papers, and then telling us that you are now calling police to come and do whatever it is that you're expecting them to do. We all know the reasons why the NDC are behaving this way. Everybody in this country knows that this is not the first time we are going through this. Unfortunately, as a people, we have to deal with being inflicted with this every single election period. The NDC are clearly losing these elections, and they know it. As we speak, the elections have already been counted at the polling stations. Every political party has copies of the pink sheet. They know it. They know very well they are losing these elections, and that is why they would call for havoc. We are winning these elections as a party. Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia is winning these elections, and that's why we are saying that let's protect it. If we are winning, why would we want the electoral processes to be disrupted when we are winning? And so, I'm sure a lot of you recall the story in the Bible. I think it's a Solomon story. The story of the two rival women, where they went to sleep, woke up in the morning, and one of the babies are dead. Now the king calls these two women fighting over the living child. And then he says, why are you fighting? He said, this is my child, this is my child. Then the king says, okay, no problem, bring me a sword. This is the living one. Cut the living child into two so that you can all have a half of it. Now, you remember, the woman who knew very well that the dead child is her said, yes, kill the baby. Kill the baby. Now, the woman who knew that this child is my child, and because he's my child, I don't want the baby dead, said that, my king, if he would please her, give her the child. All this woman sought to do was to make sure that her child does not die. But the other lady that knew that she was guilty, knew that she had already lost her child, was willing for both of them to lose their children. That's exactly what the NDC are doing. They know they've lost. They know they are nowhere near victory in these elections. And that is why they would irresponsibly call on their supporters to move towards the coalition centers to disrupt the coalition centers. Already, we have heard of incidences in some of the constituencies. We saw some on TV, where some NDC persons were somewhere in Dansoman, breaking through the coalition center and basically attacking security services. What is this? At the coalition centers, you have your agent. Why do you want to go and destroy ballot papers and disrupt the electoral process if indeed you are confident that you have won these elections. Why? Why would any political party that is willing and ready to lead this country, why would any political party that is very, very clear in his mind that he has won this election want to disrupt these electoral processes? We will not allow that. Just as we've told you from the get-go, throughout the process, we have blocked each of the ill intent of the NDC. Every strategy they brought into this election has failed. And we are going to continue to ensure that they fail at it. And this one is also going to fail. At this juncture, we are waking every single MPP supporter up. Wake up. Call your families, call your brothers, call your sisters. Go to the coalition centers. Protect the EC. Help the police protect our electoral system. Our democracy needs to be protected. And it will take the citizens to protect our democracy against this dangerous political party, the NDC. Go there, stand there, touch nobody, but make sure that nobody touches any electoral material. Make sure that nobody touches any security officer. And make sure that nobody touches any electoral officer. If anybody comes to the coalition center and attempts to touch anybody at the coalition center, you have our permission to touch that person because you are protecting democracy. That you have our blessing. And we stand by you for doing the right thing because that will be a patriotic action. As it stands now, our call on you is to collaborate and cooperate with these officers, electoral officers and security officers, and ensure that we protect the ballot that the Ghanaian citizen has cast, stood in the sun, some of them being beaten by rain, and cast their vote. We are clearly wondering what it is that the NDC and their leader is seeking to achieve by these unnecessary and reckless comments that they are making. Not a single constituency as we speak has even lifted the hands of any parliamentary candidate in their constituency, ladies and gentlemen. It is a process. As we speak, it is just 9:54. Every constituency you go to, they are tabulating their results. They are collating the pink sheets from the polling station. When they are done, that is when they will lift their hands of the parliamentary candidate that has won, and the electoral officer there will now declare that parliamentary candidate their winner. It is then and only then that any responsible political party would come on air and declare and indicate that they have won. We have our results. We know all the seats we've won already, but we are responsible. We are responsible. And we believe that to protect the sanctity of our electoral process and democracy, we should hold on to our numbers and our results until the Electoral Commission declares at the constituency level. Then we will declare. Throughout the process, from now till tomorrow, any moment that the Electoral Commission lifts the hands of any parliamentary candidates, that is from the MPP, we'll call you and we'll declare to you. That is what responsible political parties do. This election is going to be won with intelligence and not muscles. No matter how strong you are, no matter how much muscles you are, trust us. We are beating you with intelligence. And we are going to do it like we've always done it in previous elections. And like I always say, just as it is in the DNA of the NDC, whilst we are thinking and processing and using the due process, they are pumping, like they say it, and they are lifting metals. And then by the time they realize, they have lost. And then their followers will rise up against them. And then for them to hide behind the shame, they will call on their followers on the street. For the NDC followers, if you get on the street and the security agencies get hold of you, remember, you will be on your own. They will not be there with you. As we speak, Charles, the gentleman who is the son of the youth organizer of the NDC at Atwima Kwama constituency, is in police custody all alone. All alone. None of the NDC leaders are there with him. He is there all alone. And be rest assured, the police have shown clearly and indicated that they are on top of issues. And so if you get out there and misbehave to disrupt the peace of this country, you are going to find yourself wanting and you will be dealt with all alone. I leave all of us with 1 Kings 3:16. 1 Kings chapter 3 verse 16. When you read 1 Kings chapter 3 verse 16 and you understand that parable of the two women, you understand clearly what is happening with the NDC. It is nobody's fault that you are not seen as a credible alternative. Please, let us live in peace. Kindly, save us all the trouble. Kindly, let us all live in peace. You recall, in the year 2020, after the December elections, the NDC went on the streets for weeks, destroyed properties, disrupted lives, spent months in court, only for them, 1 year down the line, the chairman of the NDC today, to go campaigning to their followers and tell them that their lawyer actually told them that they have no case and that they have no evidence. But because they wanted to energize the base and not be seen to be weak, they spent the time and wasted everybody's time in the court. That's exactly what they are doing again. We don't mind. They can keep all this emotional roller coaster to themselves and their followers, but they should not draw the entire country into this unnecessary disruption. We would get back to you in due course when the Electoral Commission begin to call the parliamentary and presidential elections at the constituency level, and we share that information with you appropriately. Until then, friends from the media, we are calling on you to work with us to ensure that we keep the peace and safety of this country in one piece. And we are doing this not because we do not have muscles. We are doing this simply because we believe we have won these elections and we want to have a country that is intact enough for us to be able to govern. Thank you very much. Our three brothers. Minianum ebusuafo meji di se ebepem sambre yemu bebre yentumi nkata ye nikra endae na de dikan yebebo Ghana fo nyina aba so se yetumi akọ abato yi mu na yewie na sumdwe mu a basabasa ye biamba nokre ne se enei se wo de abato a yetu yi kra toto America for de yonkra mu nyina bobehu se yakoye nimpa yakoye nim hwe kwa ye fa so a obi etumi ko saline to na ba ne ade de sese ye nene se yabebo ho ban na yaye bia ka ho na enkokoba se yebe toto na sene ya sei no na ndey dia NDC ene omumpanifo ye no kamia koye se omupese omse oman ne ma ye nyina ye ma ho kwan ya to abawie ye to abawie a de aka nyina ne se mo ne mo agent ebe kona mo ne Electoral Commission ni police fa kwotena se na entoto ye won yaka enwu yia se ye be fe ndua ne nade ene nkranti akokrom akosai niema akoprepre bi na se ye te oman we mu na NDC fo ebe free press conference akache omo followers omo coalition center de ebusuafo NDC fo pese omo say ye man ne den e man ye ma ho kwan eti sambre dia ye kache MPP ni bi owo Ghana hafa na nyina ne so bi enya ne wada nya ne frɛ wobusua frɛ wonamfofo MPP ni bia bebia wo bia no nyane na kɔ coalition center wo constituency kɔbɔ Electoral Commission ni police for ho ban kɔbɔ police for no okɔ a kotia police for nsem na oni omo ntena ye bɛsepɛ ɛwɔ coalition center na kan yɛn adwen se ye bɛkɔ hɔ na mom se ye bɛma NDC for kwan no makɔkɔ sɛ no nko ade ye bɛbɔ ye process no ɛho ban ye gidi sɛ abato wei Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia edin kunim wedin kunim awie ye gidi sɛ abato wei ye MPs no dodo na ewini abato no pink sheet ye gi every polling station no ye saka ye de nyina dada eti ye nim de ye nya na mu embra ne say eye Electoral Commission nko a na betumi abobɔ amma no eye mienu de dikan constituency level no Electoral Commission bɛbobɔ na ɛhɔ na no ɔma paw nipa a ɔmo gidi sɛ MP abano widen wedi no kra ne se constituency ni nya pa ana se electoral officer ni nya pa nipa no constituency ne pe afede yen as a political party ye betumi de nipa ne ya yeden atodwa se omunya ye de a na se ye dikan e de betodwa even though ye cry your figures no ye de betodwa wan hwa na ye de basabasa ya yeden aba oman nim ye process no ya bato ho hyehye no eye bibia eye mre kra ye to aba ne wi a munyina mudi adanse bebi a moto aba na ye nyina ekogina wa na dwume ya kenkan ema ya bobɔ ye wie no obi asan saa krata na ye friend pink sheet na agent ne san ye no ye de ne nyina ba constituency coalition center ye bedru ho a ɛhɔ ne yakeka bom ye ka bom wi a ɛhɔ ne ye behu dia constituency ni mu MP a owi ni ye ɛna president no so de ye den owi ni ye na de enti a ehu behia sɛ wo ye amanyoko ɛsɛ oto boase ne sɛ ye du coalition center ho a obitumi frɛ sɛ yɛnsan kenkan biem embra no ma ho kwan enti sɛ wɔn hwɛ ne yie na sɛ woka sɛ me shit na me nya wo police station nti me de bekekan a wan hwa na de basabasa ye den akoba eti se NDC for be press conference no ba ka che o machita for se esa ni so mo hu so mo lusu nti omo kọ coalition center no omo kọ ye basabasa ye ne de ye masa kwan no ebusuafo munya gidie wo MPP mu ya ye bi pen ya ye ne saa wen ye da dikan ye de NDC for ye nso wen ye da dikan omo di sa dwumadie yi 2016 omo ye bi 2020 omo ye bi omo ya to aso saa sebe omo nhede nya suahunu bia emfiri sa dwumadie na omo dinim na yen yenim akwan ye de omo fa so munjama yen ye be hwa mamo ye be bo ye electoral process no ban to ensure say Ghana ni bie ne woto aba na ba no ye be bu na bonfia na say ye be to atwene MPP fo nyina nko coalition center ho ne yen kobo ya ba na ya to eno ho ban ukwa chia police ni nsem chia electoral commission officer ni nsem ne yen tena ho emfa won san ko bia na mom se NDC ni bi de nsaka police ni bi ana NDC ni bi de nsaka electoral officer bi afa nsaka NDC no esa ne se sambre no na wo bo oman no ho ban yen somo obi aso onko no nko sei bibia ewo coalition center na mom so mudi kan ba ho no be ye dia ye ma ho kwan yen ye beta wachi ni abo ho ban esa se wo bo oman no ho ban de eke nyina ne se mu nyina mo be kai Solomon abakosem na wo Bible mu no emma mienu abatai mienu na omoni omba koda ye no ye da so ye na ba kwada ne ba no so ama ne ba na wu ye nya ne ye na akoya kasakasa esa ne se nkola ne se omo se pa because omo nyina papa ba ko enti we say dia otiase ne ye meba we so say we ya meba we so we ya meba ye ko hu saa ene ko na nanim na na hwe ye na asem ne ka ye den esa ne se nkola ne se nti ye den se obehu dia ne ba nti nana adwi mu do nti de oka ye ne se mo mbra me sekai se mo se akola we ye mo ba enso ye ba akopɛ mo ye mienu nti ye beche ne mo mienu na ya mo bi afa na obi ade akola ne de ye fa ye de ekofie na de tie ne se wo cha akola ote ase mo mienu a obewu nti maami no nim se no kre ono na ne ba ewu no ehwa na ohurigina mu na anku no na kyere mo mienu na fa fa ma me ehwa na hu se wo enye wo ba dia onim se akola ne ye ne ba nkasa no o se na wadaroma mesrew akola we me na ye me ba me so bete se metena se na me a me ba me ye mu ba ya pai ne mu se de anka na fa che no anya hwe krampo no se akola ne te ase a me hu na me hu se me ba ne ye den etinkwem ehwo na ohene kai se wo na akola ne ye wo ba enti je wo ba fa ye den fa ko NDC fo hu se abato no modi nkugu o mawe asai edwiregu bronim ya se dio ena se akamuku ya se dio da fam no onsura hwe ase omo hu se omo awie edwiregu awie enti no omo from achitafo se omo nko coalition center enkokọ se no se ya na aboye nyina embo bia Dr. Mahamudu Bamia edinkunim MPP parliamentary candidate ne edinkunim ye bebo ho ban kopem se electoral commission fo benya somdwe ede abobo abato no mo be kai a enche ye bia 2020 abato etu ye NDC for the America caucus omo edinkunim after they lost omo lose wie no e ka che omo chitafo nyina ne se MPP fo wie omo enti omo mbra krom omo be gina krom for almost a week e disturb oman we nyina sai niema ukọ adwuma ne asɛ wo car ya pipe wo car ya sɛ nkrofo office ne ade e kɔ wie eche omo kɔ court no ye bi sɛ omo sɛ evidence ba ko mpo omo wo mfa mbra court omo sɛ omo ni bi Casio calculator na MPP chairman de kɔtena friend sɛ court wo bi sɛ ne sɛ aha wo si wunya sɛ unyina so wo yen a wo sɛ manfa mba in fact omo edi omo kɔ coalition center so omo kɔ kenkan MNDC no omo kɔ num tea eko complain ye say tea no na biscuit nye dey enka ho ebia no mo ye nei mo wo agent wo coalition center mo be count mo be nya gidie wo mo agent ni mu no esa ne say embra na ye cheche ye agent no adesua ene akwan ye fa so ye de ye normal no na mo training macho men embra ye training agent say ne ye be fill forms say ne ye be kenkan no na NDC for training macho men enti enei embra na so ese ye kenkan no macho men ntokwa na twem fiti awia omakosa ene ntokwa ni nyina si bebi edu no yemfa muscles enye yemfa hoode na eye ye de akenkan ena ye esa ne so omam prepare for akenkan nti omo se yenko se no yemma saa kwan no MPP ye wo macho ena esan so wonimdi a ye de yedan e de di djuma no enti ekwan bi e befa so yebebo ya bato no eban no yebebo ye de adwene nyansa na edi nkunim e wa bato we mu enye macho ene ahoden awo e wo hunem de yesre Ghana fo nyina ne se monda munya gidie we mu munya mumfa moni nto MPP aban na moto abamaye no mumfa moni yedan ento yeso sene ye bo maba no ho ban in 2016 sene ye bo maba no ho ban in 2020 no enye na ye wa aban mu a ene ye te akonwa so ene ye be makwan so bi embe gye mo aba mato no yedan emfiri mu nsem ye be bo maba no ho aban amamo ne ama electoral commission ni police fanya asundua yedan ayomadwuma embrano say electoral commission eye declaration no constituency level ye be frɛ na ya ka kyerɛ mo sɛ wani kuma kokoda sɛ wo hwɛ na wani nkum nso a coalition center na kɔbɔ electoral commission for ho ba yɛ den ɛman na mo gidie pa de nya bi ɛwɔ MPP ama yoku mu sɛ waba na woto yɛ no ye bɛbɔ ho ban ama mo yɛ da mase bebree nyame hyɛ mo nyina